From the 1011 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
Putting the spotlight on local businesses in the capital city. This is 402 Business Insider with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish on 1499.3 KLIN.
And good morning, Lincoln. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing. Gary Tharnish with Home Design Real Estate Group. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I stayed up way too late, but it's okay.
Uh-oh.
Having a good morning so far, just that it didn't start that long ago.
Yeah, and you're the guy that's up before the sun.
I am usually, so it's very rare to sleep in. But
that's a surprise.
Oh, yeah. I don't set alarms either, so that was kind of fun.
See, I wake up in the morning, and I don't know why I grit my teeth, because it's like 7:30, and I'm like, Gary's probably already got 2 hours worth of work behind him by now.
Not this morning.
But
I'll tell you,
crazy.
I'm happy. The volleyball team won last night, so that was great. They looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And so T, number 11, Teray is her name. Her mom's my assistant at work.
Oh, really?
So it's super awesome to see her start. She had a lot of play time. She did great. It's going to be a good season. I'm in heaven.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I stayed up and celebrated.
Oh, man. There we go.
T.
It's going to be a long season there. Yeah. Volleyball always look good. I mean, the last.
Well, we played the number 3 team in the country, and it's just fun to watch.
Are we ranked?
Number 1.
Are we number 1? Okay.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I don't watch volleyball. I have enough sports and frustration in my life.
You're done. Thanks for coming today. Have a good one.
I'm so glad I'm on this radio station because they don't have anything to do with the Huskers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. No.
Well, today our first segment is brought to us by the Berry Law Firm. Love the Berry Law Firm.
Yeah.
They're doing such good work over there.
John's a great guy.
Helping out the veterans, and my son-in-law is actually working with them on a deal. And then other sponsor of this segment is Wyuka Cemetery. And so we appreciate them. Them being our sponsors.
So the mosaic from Pershing is going up there. Have you driven by there recently?
No, I haven't.
They have the big wall up just past the pond, and they'll be putting in the big mosaic there.
Oh, okay.
Down that mosaic at Pershing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to run down there and have a peek.
Yeah, big change.
Very interesting. Well, let's get into our first bit here is business lessons in the news. Always tons of business. It is tough to try and decipher which direction do I want to go with business lessons in the news. And then, of course, the CEO of Target stepped down. Was that Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, after getting crushed. So they are doing a big rollback of their DEI program.
Yeah.
Which we have said this how many times over the years that we've been in radio. Get your politics out of business. Don't care how you vote. Don't care what your thoughts are. Do it. Go vote. Go do your thing. There's a reason there's curtains on the booth. It's because it's private. And as soon as you start taking your politics and rolling them out to the public, you're going to get somebody twisted up.
Well, yeah, we talked about the pizza place here in town where that happened to them, and it
Yes.
was, unbelievable because they just hated Obamacare, and that you put it out there. Keeping politics and religion out of your business, in my opinion, is a good thing. There are a lot of religious people who feel like that is who you should be totally in your business, which is fine as a person, but don't push that off on other people. Listen, I love shopping at Target, and I never boycott anything. It's kind of like I like Chick-fil-A. I have friends that boycott Chick-fil-A, but it's like, okay, you can get your chicken at Mickey D's, wherever you want to go, but I like
be my guest.
Chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A. My thing with politics is that and some people intentionally insert their politics in their business. There's a wealth management company that advertises on KLIN, and that he's all about, hey, this is who I am, and that's fine. You make a choice.
Yeah.
I think what's worse with Target and some of these other companies is that you decide you're going to go one way, and then you pivot and you're going to go back another way, and then you go the other way, and then you go the other way, and this back and forth, like as if we're playing pickleball or something with your HR and staff. At the end of the day, people, just be kind to one another, love one another, and keep your judgment and everything else to yourself or private conversations.
Yeah, put your customers first.
Yeah, right. That's what it's about.
Not the customers on the left side or the customers on the right side of the aisle first. Put your customers first. And I don't care how my customers vote. I really don't. And now, unlike you, I boycott everything. I vote with my wallet. Yeah. And when I say that, I don't mean that I'm on one particular side of the aisle. I am, but I don't boycott the people who are opposite of me. If you bring your politics out, I'm out. I don't care if I agree with you. I'm out.
Yeah.
So Target was one. They started out with, what was it, 2016? They were doing the bathroom thing. Whatever gender you feel like, you could use whatever bathroom. I'm like, really? That's weird. And then 4 years later, they did this massive DEI rollout. And it's like, really? Does it matter? Does it really matter? It does not matter.
Yeah.
And
Make
then
sure the shelves are full.
Yeah.
The people working there are kind, treat everybody the same.
Exactly. And then now, not only did they roll back their policy, but then they did it publicly. Why do you got to do it publicly? Just roll them back. Just quietly roll it back and go back to your focus, which is selling your products and doing your thing. So, yeah, Target, congratulations. You got to give them a hats off. They pissed off everybody. So they got these people on this side of the aisle mad. Then we kind of weaned them off of coming to our store. And then now we're going to go back and we're going to upset the people who have stuck with us.
And therein lies the challenge.
And
always.
So I was reading their net profit or net sales, I think it was down 21% in the second quarter.
That's not fun.
That's a big, now when you think Target, I mean, when you think my business, if I'm down 21% in a quarter, that hurts.
Yeah.
But there are commas involved when you're talking Target.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, keep your politics to yourself in business.
And, we went through that period where stores were just being looted all the time and stealing. Well, don't stop somebody stealing. We just don't do that. There were people walking into Target and all not just Target. A lot of these stores and just grabbing what they wanted and leaving. It's like, okay, people, in what world is that ever going to work?
Right.
Yeah. So it's
someone's got to pay for that.
World.
Someone's got to pay for that. And I was going through, this was just this year. These are companies who have come out and started publicly rolling back their political opinions, right?
Okay.
Now listen to this list. And for our listeners, if you are running a company, if you're a business owner, ask yourself if you want to inject politics within your company or religion or whatever. Are you a smarter business person, a better business than this list of people? IBM, Garnet, who is the newspaper company, the country's largest newspaper, Constellation Brands, which is Corona Modelo, United Health, Victoria's Secret, Warner Brothers, Goldman Sachs, Paramount, Bank of America, Citigroup, Pepsi, JP Morgan, Coca-Cola, Disney, Deloitte, PBS, General Motors, Google, General Electric, Intel. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Are you a better business person than these people are? Because they thought they could get away with it. They can't.
Yeah.
Do you think your business is going to be able to survive this? It cannot.
Yeah.
If politics, injecting your political opinion, is going to chase everybody off, they can't do it. And they're massive. I mean, you think Harley Davidson is on this list, right?
Yeah.
Bud Light, Budweiser. Why? Do you even know who your market is?
Yeah.
And you're rolling out a political opinion? It's nuts.
Yeah.
It is just nuts.
Yeah. There's just a lot of pressure from 4 nonprofits.
Yes. Yeah. Unbelievable. So, yeah, if you are in business, keep your politics and your policies within the confines of, keep your politics to yourself, keep your policies to your employees, and leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just be fair with your policies. Be kind. Love one another. There you go. Boom.
Well, and you and I are even a great example because the 402 Business Insider is kind of a micro business.
We are. I don't know about the kind love one. I don't really like you, Travis. I do put up with you on Saturday mornings here.
How did two guys who can't stand each other?
Okay, be quiet.
Do a
your wife sends me a check.
That's right.
Yes. Let's take me out of the house for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just enjoying the peace and quiet at my house.
She's got it figured out.
So
hi, Shannon.
Yeah. So yeah, it just, but looking at what we do here on Saturday, I mean, we've had a couple of opportunities we've interviewed the governor a couple of times and we talked about his farm.
Right.
and running Pillen Farms and building Pillen Farms and doing business. And it's hard to go, oh man, let's talk politics with this guy, because he's kind of the pinnacle of politics in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into it with him because that's not who the 402 Business Insider is.
Yeah. The key, you said one word in that whole spiel that was important. Everything else
was blah, 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 blah.
Sorry, everybody. But is the word talk. It's all about communication. Most of these things can be done in communication. Take care of your people. Do it through HR. Be kind. Be non-judgmental. But you get these people that are going to boycott and all these other different things. And I, to some degree, kind of get it. But it's like, just be kind.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just be kind.
Be kind. Take care of your customers. Stay focused.
Gabe, especially
I know we should probably talk to our guests. They've been standing here patiently, listening to us go off on our little segment. So, but yeah, we have Gabe Sanchez, who is the founder of Nebraska Farmers Network. We have Kaleb Stewart, who's the state director of business development for Nebraska Farmers Network. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing great.
Good.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming in. And we've kind of like blown through our whole segment here, so we will give a quick 30,000 foot view of NFN. So tell us a little about the business.
NFN, is pretty much born on the basis of what you guys were just saying. We got sick and tired of being sick and tired, of what the bureaucrats in DC were telling us, what to wear, what to eat, what to drive, how to think, and we took matters in our own hands. And Nebraska Farmers Network was born, built around Nebraska's ag industry, focused on the ag industry, retail aside and any other industry out there. We just wanted to really build this on what Nebraska has been built on since the beginning of Nebraska, and that's agricultural, and that's what keeps Nebraska going today. And it's built on the back of our farmers and ranchers, and that's what we wanted to focus on. If we can keep and be nice to farmers and ranchers, Nebraska's happy. If they're happy, Nebraska's happy. So that was the main focus.
Yeah, and keeping it Nebraska.
Correct. All Nebraska.
Keeping things Nebraska owned, Nebraska focused. I think it's an incredible project, and I'm so excited about it. And oddly enough, and we'll get into this after this segment, but oddly enough, we had you guys on, if you can believe, it's been a year.
Has it only been a year?
A year.
It seems like 12. It was so painful for Gabe over there.
That's right.
It's like, really? That wasn't a decade ago?
He walked out of the studio and went, we don't have to do that for another year.
Gabe walked in just a little late. He was in his car praying for us.
That's right.
God, let me get through this. Hopefully Kaleb talks a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I thought I was bald last year. Now I'm really bald.
That's okay. My favorite phrase of July was a 5-year-old that I just met, who, when I took my hat off for dinner, said, "What happened to your hair?" And I'm like, real quick, I'm like, "Oh, it fell onto my face. Did that hurt?" And kept going until he had to kind of have, parents that were like, "Hey, we just don't talk like this." So 45 minutes later on the patio having a beer, it's time for him to go into bed. So 5, he wanders up, shoots me again with his little laser gun, and I pretend I'm dead. And he goes, "Mr. Gary," I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do all people with fat faces that are old lose their hair?" Dead serious. Like, that's my phrase for the year. So anyway,
yeah. So eat your broccoli.
You're healthy and fit, so the fat thing's out. But my little fat face, apparently, we're bald.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, we have a break coming up here, so let's run to that real quick. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Gabe and Kaleb from the Nebraska Farmers Network. Lots of questions for you guys coming up right after this.
on 1499.3 KLIN.
Hello and welcome back to the 402 Business Insider this morning with my co-host Travis Filing from Transformation Marketing. I'm Gary Tharnish with Home Design Real Estate Group up here at Home Real Estate right up the road here. And this segment's sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers and
Red Rhino.
Yeah,
Red Rhino Roofing. They did the house across the street from me.
Nice.
And I think it was maybe Wednesday.
So post-storm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like I said, that storm ripped our town apart.
I know.
And so I saw them. They like dropped all the shingles off in Doug's driveway, and it's a big house. It's got to be 3,000 square feet, and it's real steep. And Shannon goes, "How long do you think it's going to take them?" I go, if they're going to start tomorrow, that's Thursday, so maybe Saturday afternoon.
They're done.
One day.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Sun comes up, they're ripping it apart, and by the time the sun was down, they were done.
Yeah, nice.
I couldn't believe it.
It's a way to do it.
And of course, looks great. You know, Steve and those guys, they do a great job. So appreciate Red Rhino Roofing. Those guys are fantastic. Talking with Gabe and Kaleb from the Nebraska Farmers Network. One thing that you guys do that I am so fascinated with is you guys are actually buying up farm ground to keep it locally owned, to keep it statewide owned. And that is something that I think is so important because foreign owned property, the numbers are absolutely staggering. Yeah. And was that kind of the whole premise? Was that the whole idea behind starting the business?
Yeah. I mean, everything's driven on data, and we looked into the data when we were looking at starting this company in a fund. There's tons of multifamily apartment, syndications like that. Not so much in ag land. So we started looking into ag land, and it just blew up in our face with that amount of foreign ownership here. And that's what was the premise of the company.
Well, I was going through from when we talked last year. I was going through some of our notes, and here are some of the notes that are absolutely staggering. Now, this last year when we talked, which was in September of 24, at that point, there were an estimated 44 million acres in the United States that were owned by foreign entities. So what's 44 million acres? That's people, sometimes numbers, they're so tough to make it tangible, to make it understand. It's like our debt. We're $38 trillion in debt. Okay, so we owe a bunch of money. What does 44 million acres look like? So 44 million acres, if you took all the land in the state of Florida, 34.2 million acres, Massachusetts, 4.9 million acres, and New Jersey, 4.7 million acres. Those three states, all the land in those three states, 44,018,560 acres. That was last year. Fast forward to this year, it's another 1.9 million acres that have gone foreign owned. What's 1.9 million acres look like? That would be Rhode Island and Delaware. So think about that. Those 5 states are foreign owned. That's staggering.
Yeah.
And we're seeing more and more of it. I mean, over the course of the next 10 years, it's just going to continue to progress, which is why, we're on a quick timeline that we have to actually make this happen. And so that's why we are moving so fast and so furious within it, because it's just going to keep progressing and nobody was doing anything about it. And that's why we stepped in.
And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. When the state of Nebraska, because I went back and I listened to our show from a year ago, if we took and drove from downtown Lincoln to the Kansas border, up to downtown Omaha, and then back to Lincoln, that triangle, that's how much of Nebraska was foreign owned last year. Yep. My guess is it got a little bigger, right? Yeah. And so you guys are starting to buy up, and the price of land is getting insane.
Outrageous.
Price of everything.
Yeah, no kidding. Price of everything is getting insane.
Yeah.
Travis, you're starting to see a lot of the government officials step in now. Just took them, over 200 years to figure this out. But what I'm still afraid of is, okay, what happens in the next 4 years? What happens in the next 8 years? What if we have somebody else that comes into office and doesn't like what the current administration has done to
That never
protect
happens.
us, you know, or what happens if the next governor or the next senator, you know, doesn't like it. So yes, they're starting to put some pen to paper to exclude some of these countries that are coming in here. But of course, all of that was done before elections or campaigns or stuff like that. So I mean, again, we're just taking matters in our own hands.
And we're in election season again this coming January. So
as soon as the
just
election's
keep on
over,
trucking.
you're in election season.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's just it. So I have a question. What are all of these acres that are being bought up by these foreign nationals? What are they doing with the acres? Is that all becoming corporate farming? Are they letting it sit idle? Are they? What's happening? Do you know?
I mean, we're seeing them that they're just renting them, you know, so to the local farmers. Some of them are, you know, it's private land. You can't go on there, see what's going on. You know, that's the big thing. It's privately owned, so you really can't tap into there and actually see what's going on.
Yeah. And I love
you probably shouldn't use a thing that can fly drone over to see, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. And even out of state ownership is pretty big.
Massive.
And that's something too that I think is concerning, just because when you look at the velocity of money, right? When a dollar is spent at a Lincoln business, it stays in Lincoln. It has Lincoln employees. It has, you know, that money is staying local. When you buy things on Amazon, I'm not going to pick on Amazon because they probably have the money to hire lawyers and smash me. But when all that money is going to Washington State, and they say about 6% of that stays local, and 94% is going out of the state, the velocity of money is disappearing. So when you look at all these companies and people who own land in Nebraska that's out of state, that money, even if it's going for rent, is going out of state.
Correct.
I hear the music coming up, so I want to. We'll pick it up where I'm leaving off right now. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Gabe and Kaleb from the Nebraska Farmers Network, and we are going to dive more into foreign and out-of-state ownership and what we can do about it right after this.
on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back on the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Gabe and Kaleb from the Nebraska Farmers Network. And I said we were going to pick up where we left off. And during the break, Gary goes, Travis, that's 5 takeaways. 5 takeaways is the third break. I'm like, oh my goodness. Third segment is 5 takeaways, which isn't sponsored yet. So still looking for a sponsor out there. If you guys are thinking this, we'd be pouring love all over your business right now, telling people how crazy they are for not showing up and buying your products or services or whatever else. But instead, I just ramble like an idiot. And that's, that's not a good thing. So 5 takeaways. So let's jump in there. These are 5 key pieces of advice that we are giving to our listeners, our business owners, our executives, our leaders, that they can apply Monday morning. Or if you're a business owner, you can apply right now because you're probably sitting at your desk working. So first question we want to ask you guys, what should investors, because you guys you take on investors to help buy this land. So what should investors look for when they're looking at buying farmland? Because I have actually looked into this because I own some real estate. Now they're commercial buildings and some residential, and farm ground is one. I look at it and go, oh my gosh, how do I make this thing pay or at least break even?
It's a tough one.
Yeah. So what advice would you give people when they're looking at investing in ag ground?
Well, first of all, when you're looking into investing in it, you just want to make sure all of the paperwork is correct. You got your leases, you got your purchase agreements, you got your addendums. There's a lot of stuff that I learned in this,
right?
And you got to make mistakes. Don't start off small first, because the mistakes that you are going to make, you are going to make mistakes. Make sure there's small mistakes, that you can learn from, and then you gradually work your way up to the bigger deals. But we have a really good trusted team of a legal team and whatnot that we have them look at our paperwork, any of the agreements, and we learn a lot from them and apply that to the next deal. But as far as the numbers go, Travis, it's really, this is what makes us different, because for a lot of the farmers and ranchers, if it doesn't pencil out for them, it's not going to pencil out for us either. We don't have some magic pencil at Nebraska Farmers Network that we can increase cash flow 5% or 10%. So what we're doing is we're bringing a lot of innovative strategies to the farmland, to ranch land, strategies that farmers and ranchers just haven't thought of, or they thought of, they're just too afraid to do, or something that they've been doing for over 100 years just because their great grandpa did it that way. They're just afraid of change. So we're bringing basically new tactics that farmers can use on some ground. For an example, let's say they have irrigated ground and they have those 2 acres, 3 acres on the corners of their ground. What about putting up a greenhouse? What about putting up what do you call it? The
Don't you love it when you go blank?
Yeah, that is awesome.
There it is.
You're so me, Gabe.
The confined feedlots, and some crazy numbers you were thinking about. Flowers are one of the
Gary knows a little something about flowers.
Yes. And I think it's Sweden I was looking at. They have the 85th in agricultural exports, but number 1 in the amount of money that they
So what are the top 3 cash producing agricultural crops in the United States?
Is it flowers?
Flowers is number 3.
No kidding.
Cash crop. Right.
And I've seen,
and here's the deal. You plant 40 acres of flowers, you're going to get a gazillion times more than you would with corn, soybean, or anything else. The problem is the risk is 40 times higher as well. We don't have the climate to do a lot of it, but when I was so I owned a flower shop for 38 years, and I was been the treasurer and executive director, president of Nebraska Florist Society. We used to work a lot with the university over there. Jay, when he was alive, Jay Fitzgerald, passed away now, but he worked a lot with farmers on types of products that could go. Curly willow comes to my mind immediately. If you took those few acres on the corner and planted curly willow, you just cut the bush down every fall, and you're selling like 5 sticks in a bundle for $25 $6 a bundle. You could easily make.
All right, we're talking
See, and I have-
after this, and we're gonna come up with that.
I'm gonna go take a nap after this. I was up late.
So
But you
I
can
have
call
some
me
land.
anytime,
What is weeds? Do weeds, because my land is very excellent producing in weeds.
So talking about staying in commercial and residential real estate would be the lane. Your lane.
Yes,
yeah,
it
stay in
is.
your lane. You're
Very-
not thinking the car now that
very
keeps you in
much
your
so.
lane. We verbally need that for him.
So when you guys go out and you start looking at properties, because I imagine a lot of people are calling you, a lot of opportunities out there. How do you evaluate what's a good deal, what's a bad deal? Because when I was doing prep for this, how much is the average cost of an acre of land in Nebraska? And of course, AI, which is not so much it's just artificial, no intelligence. I'm like, $1,000 to $8,000 an acre. I'm like, yeah, right. That's at the bottom of a swamp.
Yeah.
But how do you guys evaluate the value of land?
Real estate, land, it's the long game. You really can't obviously invest in some ground and hope to cash out next week on it, right? So we're always thinking long term when it comes to any of our investments, whether it be in ranch or row crop ground. But it's more the person who we're looking at that's going to be working that ground is what we're looking at, and who we're investing in, their family. So it's not necessarily the soil type or the crop. It's what can they bring to the table, and what future ideas and what future goals do they have for their family. And then that's where we're investing is in their kids. And it's great to see. That's who we meet with. We don't even go look at the farm first. We meet the family first and hear about their story and what they want to do. And if that all aligns with our goals and our values and our mission of the company, then we can make it work.
So conceptually, you're trying to keep the family on the farm, right?
Oh, 100%.
So the second question is, how would you evaluate good land deals versus risky ones? This is it, right? You're going to meet with the family first and go, okay, well, part of the problem might be if you're on the couch till noon. That could be a problem. You're not, or different things. That's probably fairly unrealistic, but I mean, to just, really put it out there. That's a huge part of it, right? And do you kind of goal to keep the family farm together?
That's 100% of the goal.
100%. Good. Because we should focus on that. I think that's a really great deal. I know some of my cousins who don't farm anymore just because inheritance tax, which is absolutely huge.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah. That
is the
takes
inheritance.
so
Are there
much.
people out there that can't afford to keep the land just
Absolutely.
because mom and dad died?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We see it all the time.
There's people that are afraid to sell the land because of capital gains. So you have these 96-year-old ranchers and farmers, and their kids and grandkids are like, okay, grandpa, when are you ready to hand it over?
They're ready.
They're ready. And they don't because of the capital gains.
Yeah, when you're ready to write $1 million check, it's yours.
Right.
And
the problem is
it's not
cash
going
flow.
to me.
There isn't $1 million anywhere.
Yeah.
You're wealthy in land. You're wealthy in character. You're wealthy in stamina and work ethic. But when it comes to all the cash in the bank, oftentimes, I mean, I don't really know that. I'm kind of making this up.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, a lot of times it is you're asset rich and you're cash poor. I mean, that's
right.
I see it a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've actually come out with that's. I don't know if that's in this segment. It probably is. But
Can be.
What I want to say is, these are some of the things that we had just rolled out this year, and one of them is called NFN Farm Exchange. And NFN Farm Exchange exactly helps is the solution to what we're talking about right now. And we can take that ground that the 96-year-old farmer does not want to sell because of all the taxation. And guess what? We can roll it into one of our products and pay him a monthly distribution. He doesn't have to manage it anymore. And it gets rolled over to his kids tax-free.
And he's going to see a better return on it. When you're just leasing out that ground, you're seeing a 1 to 3% return. We can get you all the way up to a 5 to 7% return.
And then do you in turn then lease that ground to the kids or grandkids so that they can farm it?
Yeah. I mean, if the kids or the grandkids are wanting to work it, I mean, we see about 50-50. A lot of times they're not interested. It's not really something that they've been looking at doing. So in that case, we bring that to our members. One of our members is gonna talk to us and bring it up, and then we're gonna work with one of our members to make sure that they get to work that ground. We don't want to hold on to all this ground. We want it to end up back in our farmers and ranchers' hands. We want them to own it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Wow. So do you guys then at some point is part of the plan to sell it back to them?
100%. So we
Wow.
have a buyback option within all of our leases so that they can have that ground back. So again, we want them to be in the position. Has to make sense for them down the road for sure, which is one of the things that go into, when we're first approaching that deal in the first place. Just like Gabe was mentioning, it's got to make sense for them. It's got to make sense for us. But yeah, we want them to own that ground back in the end. I mean, again, that goes back to our entire mission: keep Nebraska's ag land locally owned, keep it in Nebraskan hands. We want it. Our family farmers and ranchers that have, built our entire state. We want that to stay, I mean, how we've had it for a long time, and we're seeing it shift the other direction, and that's why we're stepping in.
How do you build trust and transparency with people when they're doing that? I mean, it's all about real estate in general. Life in general is about relationships, right? I mean, you're going to trust somebody if you're not. But if I'm like going, okay, this farm's been in my family for 100 years. Now you guys come in, you two yahoos come in. I'm just kidding you. Well, I'm kidding you. But people come in and they're, and they're like, here's this program, we can do this, and then you can buy the land back from us. There's a lot of trust involved with that,
100%.
Because you could also not. But that goes back to one of your first comments where you said, know your bookwork, know your documents, hire someone else to look at it and make sure it looks really good. But the concept of what you're doing is fantastic. I worry that any politicians are listening, because like oxygen, they want to tax everything. But the concept is great, and it'd be a great way to keep them. I mean, I have cousins that now work on corporate farms that their mom and dad tilled, and they as kids tilled for decades.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I can speak to the building trust portion a lot, because that's my whole job. I go out and I meet with, potential members coming on, and I meet with our current members, make sure that they're happy, see what their needs are. But it all comes down to that conversation that you're having with them. I mean, it's showing them your heart and showing them where you are at as a human being. I think all of us are pretty good at reading people most of the time, and they can see, if you're full of it or not. So showing them your heart when you're having that conversation, and we put everything out in plain sight. We have nothing to hide from them. We're here to help them. We are not here to hinder them in any shape, way, or form. Yeah. And they can see that through the conversations that we're having with them.
Yeah. And you seem very trustworthy. I have 3 kids. I would have left one of them with you if you brought him back.
Happily married.
So if you didn't bring him back, it wouldn't be. Right. Every time I'm with one of my kids individually, they're my favorite.
That's right.
It's always like, drop it, Dad. I know you say the same thing to Laura. Well, not when you're around.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, Caleb does have a hard job, because it is, we have to introduce ourselves, tell them who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it. They also know why, but now, is it a good fit? Everybody loves our goal and mission, but do our goals and our future plans align,
And this is their biggest asset.
Correct.
I mean,
this not just their asset. I mean, it's been their entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, and not just theirs, but usually their dad's life and their grandpa's life.
Yeah, it's generational.
Correct.
Minimum. Yeah. And the alignment is so important, and that could miss a lot when in mergers and acquisitions. A lot of times it's like, you guys miss this main cog in the wheel, which is alignment. Like, if you don't align with somebody, they need to walk. I mean, I'm that way with clients. It's like, if we don't align,
if it's not
if
a fit,
you think
it's
your
not
house
a
is
fit.
worth 800,000 and I'm showing you on paper it's worth, like, we don't align.
Yeah.
Yep. And I have those conversations every day. I mean, I go and I speak with about 10 to 12 potential new members coming on, and it's not a fit for everybody. There's people that this doesn't make sense for, and that's completely fine.
And that's okay thing. Sure.
100%.
Yeah, that's always tough. So on that, what is a lesson that all business owners can take from your work in agriculture about protecting their core assets? That's a deep question.
Once they're gone, you don't get them back.
And that's, you're definitely not wrong, especially if it's going just like what we're talking about to an outside investment. Once that ground gets bought up, they don't have to live off that ground for the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. They're taking that and they're looking at the long game. They're going to hold on to it forever, or their firm is going to hold on to it forever because they made this investment. Whereas our local farm and ranchers, I mean, it is, again, their life. They have to live off this ground and make this work for them. And so, once that goes, you're never going to see that come back again. It's just like what we're talking about within, this next 10-year span that we're going to see play out. There's a lot of our farm ground that is going to go, and we're just trying to make an impact and limit that as much as humanly possible.
Well, and that's exactly why the price of land and the price of housing is going through the roof, is because, one, they're not making anymore.
Yep.
And once it's gone, like, we own a fistful of properties.
Yep.
They're not for sale. Every time I put something up for rent, I get a phone call. How much do you want for it? $1,500 a month. No. How much do you want for it?
Yeah.
It's so much dang money that it's not worth it to you.
Yep.
It's not for sale because $100,000 property is worth $1 million to me because it's generational.
Well, and these outside investors, their pockets are deep. I mean, once things hit market, and it goes and we start a bidding war, and you got two local guys that really want to work this ground. As soon as that outside investor comes in, is ready to write a check. I mean, he's willing to pay numbers that don't pencil out for guys.
Yeah, cash, no prayer. Just here you go.
Correct. Here's the money. Let's get it done. I got it. And again, just like we said, you're never seeing it again.
And I know when I was starting to kind of think about buying farm ground, the other thing that you have to think about is when you're competing with a neighboring farm who probably doesn't owe anything on this farm ground. Well, he can then leverage that ground to overpay for the ground right next door. So they can afford to overpay for it because they don't owe anything on the first plot. There's still a business lesson within there, but at the same time, there's also driving your combine 12 miles to reach your next plot of ground versus taking down a fence.
Well, and that goes back into why we see, our average farmer or rancher here in the State's 57 years old, and we have less than 11% of our ag producers 35 years or younger. So, I mean, because the level of entry is so high and the cost is so high that young guys to get started, I mean, if you're not born into it, good luck getting into it and having the finances to actually make something happen and actually go out there. If you do it, you're taking a giant risk and hoping that it pays off. And for a lot of guys, it doesn't.
Yep, because the entry point is so high.
Correct.
My son, he ever since he was knee high, said, I want to be a farmer. Find a farmer with a daughter.
Yep.
Start buttering her up because that's the only way.
Can you just imagine being his kid? Woo, I know him, and I'm kind of like,
he's damaged.
They're successful in spite of him. But
yeah, buddy.
That's good advice.
Well, very good. Well,
tough.
this has been the 5 takeaways sponsored by nobody, sponsored by your business.
We'll
I know.
sponsor this.
You want to sponsor that?
We'll
I knew you
sponsor
guys
this.
were talking about
One
being
of the
a sponsor.
takeaways was, do what you say you're going to do. And I know me and you've been talking. I was like, hey, yeah, I got to get the paperwork signed and everything. Everybody's busy. I don't want to hear crap like everybody's busy all the time. It's just really how important is it to you to take the time to do this? So after the show today, we'll get that figured out.
Here, I got a napkin right here.
There you go.
Gary.
It was $60,000 a month. Just sign right here, buddy.
Opening
Don't push
the
too hard, it'll
portfolio.
rip the napkin.
So 5 takeaways sponsored by Nebraska Farmers Network.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Give us the website
That is right.
because this is where the
we wanna find
website
you.
goes.
What's the website?
NebraskaFarmersNetwork.com.
There we go.
Easy enough.
Keep it
which is
simple.
great. Yeah.
There we go. And we'll have to figure out a catchphrase like stop foreigners from taking away our land or something like that.
Right.
There we go. We're doing a marketing workshop live on the air, and you will now see why there are so many bad ideas in marketing. It's usually the first one, right?
That's why you keep spitballing private.
That's right.
Yes, we
That's
don't want
right.
to do this live on the air.
Yes.
Although we could, right? Like,
Well, we could.
grow your business one stock at a time.
There we go. See, thank you. When I have a bad idea, Gary, the true partner in a radio show, is to make the other guy look good. And Gary comes out with a turd that makes mine shine. Right?
There you go.
All right. Well, you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Gabe and Kaleb from the Nebraska Farmers Network. And we are going to have more right after this.
Thank you. This
building business one story at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. I'm here today with my co-host Travis Filing. I'm Gary Tharnish, and we have two guests today, Gabe and Kaleb from Nebraska Farmer Network.
New sponsor.
Yeah, new sponsor. They're going to do our 5 takeaways, which is awesome, which is great. That's going to be a lot of fun. This segment's also up for grabs. It's called the Unexpected Impact, which I think would be great for a car collision company.
I know.
Right?
There you go.
Because all businesses have them. At some point, you have an unexpected impact or something that's happening.
And we're talking to them. We've got phone calls, so hopefully they're listening. All these car crash companies,
There
and
you go.
they're going, gosh, we could be talking about them right now.
Yeah.
But this segment is also sponsored by James Arthur Vineyards,
Love them.
and I do too.
Yeah.
Jim does such a great job up
That's
there.
a good company.
Integrated Behavioral Health Services and Lincoln Coin and Bullion.
I feel
So-
like when I was a kid, I would have been sent there.
To Lincoln Coin and Bullion.
No, integrated behavioral health.
Oh, you need to be there now.
Every time I have to say
Like-
that one, it's like, that's why I can't say it. I
Oh.
served probation there.
You know, they should open a remote office in radio stations.
Right.
Because
Bingo.
You want to talk about the perfect marrying of customers and product. Yeah, they can make a fortune in
That is
radio.
Funny.
So
funny,
unexpected
funny.
impact. Let's talk about the unexpected impact.
Yeah. Do you have a story you can tell about something that happened or a family or someone you worked with? I mean, give us an idea of how you help someone.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I would say my impact is just within myself, if I'm being honest. So I'm not an ag kid. I grew up in Southern Indiana. I grew up around a lot of ag, grew up around a lot of Amish people and a lot of tobacco fields is what I grew up in. But my family didn't farm. We didn't ranch. I moved to Nebraska about a decade ago, and I absolutely fell in love with the people here. And that's really my heart and my driver. While I don't have that ag background, I have such a deep respect for all of our ag producers throughout the entire country. Just like what we're talking about, they dedicate their entire lives. They work 24/7. There is no clock in, clock out system for them. I mean, it's all the time. And they sacrifice a lot. And honestly, they don't get to dictate a lot of how, their business goes at the end of the day. They put so much into it, and then they don't get to control their pricing when it comes out to it. They have no say in the weather. There's so many things that are out of their hands that they risk every year because they love and have a passion for, basically feeding a nation and sustaining our nation. And they pour their heart and soul into it. And I have such deep admiration for them within that. And so while I don't have those ag ties necessarily, I have so much respect for them in it. And me as a person, I'm driven by passion. If I'm not doing something that I feel purposeful in, I can't do it. I mean, I'll get burnt out so fast. And so when I came on with Nebraska Farmers Network, and it was just an immediate click of just this, we are doing something that nobody's doing, and we're doing something that is going to help so many people that I have so much respect for. So every time I go in to have those conversations, it ties back to what we were saying, building that trust. They can see my heart and they can see my passion for what I'm doing, even though, and I'm very honest with them. Hey, I don't know everything about your guys' business. I don't know everything on the ranching and the farming side. But what I do know is I'm here to help you, and I have something that it can be really advantageous for you.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow. Okay, now you can watch 2 of my kids. We're working up here. Who are your age, by the way? So just go have fun.
That's funny because I grew up in Ohio.
Yep.
Right. And so I in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So in Cleveland, I mean, corn came in the can.
Oh, yeah.
The way God intended. And that was ag. It was just the ag world was just a total mystery to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come out here and it's like, wow, man, understanding the all the intricacies that go into ag. Have you guys watched? I'm going to get off on a tangent here, but have you guys watched Clarkson's Farm?
I've not.
No.
Oh my goodness. Write that down, guys. So you know who Jeremy Clarkson is in England. He used to be, what was his show? I looked at David. He's the young guy. He's
it's the
supposed
car
to know
show,
these.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Top Gear.
Top Gear. Thank you. So Jeremy Clarkson, Top Gear, he buys this farm as an investment.
Yep.
And he just kind of had it out there and he had people farming it and decided when Top Gear was over that he was going to go and run this farm himself. And he goes in and he starts learning the business of farming. And he starts learning, like you said, you don't get to control your prices.
Nope.
Right? You go out there, you don't get to control the price of seed. You buy it. You want to grow corn or don't you? He buys that, then he plants it, and then weather, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Usually doesn't work in your favor. And then he doesn't get to control the outcome. So however many bushels you get is however many bushels you get. And then somebody else is controlling the price. And it's amazing and I've lived in Nebraska since 97. And worked at Froggy, our sister station. I can say Froggy. And I did all the ag sales for Froggy 98 for like 7 years. And started learning about ag, and watching Clarkson's farm really opened my eyes to how much I didn't even know. And that was after 8, 9, 10 years of selling ag within, the radio station here. So yeah, go watch Clarkson's farm. And of course it's funny.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's a great guy.
Clarkson's hilarious.
When you have these conversations with farmers, is there in any one thing between all of them that's just always there? Like just the worry of cash flow or worrying that they're just going to lose the farm? When do you come alongside somebody? Is it when the challenges have already started to arise, or do you try to catch them early and say, hey, down the road, you're going to have this transition from this generation to the next, and we can help you with that? Where do you, obviously you meet people where they're at,
correct?
But do you target them at a certain time, or?
I would say no. We have a multitude. I mean, I talk to guys that are in all sorts of different positions, whether it is they're already struggling and they're worried about what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years, which is honestly pretty widespread. Whether you're doing well right now or not, we know within the ag industry, there's a lot of unexpected. And there's a lot of things that constant change. Yep. I mean, look at corn prices, where they're at now and where they were at a year or two ago. So a lot of things change very, very rapidly for these guys. So I would say the one common denominator is just constantly being on edge. I mean, these guys are always on edge because they just don't know what's going to happen. And again, they're pouring their whole life into it. It's a hard thing to not know what's going to go on when you're dedicating your entire life to it. But no, we talk to people in every single, different situation. So whether, you're already struggling or you're just, you're doing it right, but you're looking for another avenue to grow, capital, your credit being tied up, those things. We're just talking about everything's expensive. Your ag equipment is expensive. Your inputs are expensive. And once you're doing well, so like these, cattle's doing well right now, but then your cost to replenish goes up, then your cost, everything goes up. So
all relative.
Correct. And even with the crop guys, once that starts rising up, then the seed guys are like, well, we can get a little bit more money. Everything just goes, and then more cuts happen. And then if it drops again, well, they're not dropping their prices. We've already hit this standard. We're not going to drop it now. So we talk to people in every sort of different situation. And honestly, we have a pretty good fit for most people, especially if you're wanting to continue to grow or you're just wanting to keep what you have.
Yeah, being on the edge that's it. Farmers are on the edge. I mean, I remember when we had the storms. Well, we came in here that day, traffic signs, and called my daughter to see how they were. Well, they had it too, and she goes, yeah, John was out before the sun came up, starting to check on all the fields to see, do you have hail damage? I mean, you work all this work. It's so much of it is out of your hands.
Correct.
I mean, we owe a lot to farmers.
Gary, the big thing that, as a business owner, yes, expect the unexpected, because unless you're willing to sacrifice everything, be away from your family all the time, go through the ups and downs, and just everybody thinking that you're going to fail. I mean, that's the stuff that you have to just get through. So unexpected challenges. My main thing when we were starting this was just to surround myself with a good team, right? Because a big believer in success depends on the people you surround yourselves with. So I had spread out our advisory board members. We were talking about corn. Well, we got a guy on our board who sits on the National Corn Board. He's in DC all the time, Jason Lewis out of Henderson. And then, I got people on the cattle brokerage side. I got people that are in feedlots, and we tried to expand this whole horizon of, okay, where are the leaders? Who are the community leaders, and where are the experts? And they're all part of it. I mean, we're called Network for a reason.
Yep. And
our members, they're used to unexpected risk or, something happening within the business. But that's when we make a few phone calls. Okay, what happens when this happens? What happens? What do you do when that happened? and everybody just helps Nebraska farmers for the common goal.
And we're willing to listen and willing to take the advice, because we're not the expert in everything, and we know that. So Gabe is very good at that. About my limits are here, and I need to put another guy in place that can help me continue to move forward.
Well, do what Gabe did. I mean, he hired you, and you're much more intelligent. And
I don't know about all that.
So Gabe is gonna take that sponsorship back in a heartbeat. Amy. Travis is over there looking at me going, "Okay,
wait until he
signs.
Gary. Wait until he signs the
I
paper.
had that napkin somewhere around here, but I don't know."
Well, that was the unexpected impact, something that happens unexpected within your business. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We are talking with Kaleb and Gabe from the Nebraska Farmers Network, and we're going to be back right after this.
Lincoln's entrepreneurs, one conversation at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. My co-host Travis Filing and myself, Gary Tharnish, are here with Kaleb and Gabe today from Nebraska Farmers Network. This segment is sponsored by Lincoln Chamber of Commerce and the Lincoln Airport, both great. The airports, she's doing it. Rachel's doing such. All of them out there are doing a great job. But the Breeze is going to be a great airline coming into Lincoln.
It is.
And fantastic.
Did Never mind. I was going to
Okay.
say something. I don't know if it's public information yet. So
Yeah, I know.
we're just gonna
Somehow
move
with
on.
your eyes, I was like, shut
Yes, yes.
the gapper.
As soon as I'm
shut
like,
the gapper. Don't
should
say
I
it.
say? No, I better not say. I should probably
And just
ask
for everybody,
first,
I'll
so.
just say to the entire city of Lincoln, do not tell me a secret. I am not telling you tell me a secret unless you offer it to me with duct tape right up front.
Big mouth and a microphone.
yeah.
You and I are not the people to tell a secret to.
So this next segment we're calling This Needs an Adjustment. And my good friend Brian, the owner of Ascend Chiropractic, is sponsoring this. And I'm just going to quickly say, if your body is not working right and you've got back pain or whatever it might be, don't ask for help. Go see a chiropractor. They do great work over there. I suffer from spinal stenosis, and it's been amazing the difference I've had in regularly meeting over there. I'm not talking once a week. I go every other week, but the adjustment just makes all the difference in the world.
And
Life
your back
is
went
too
on
short.
this week, didn't it? Didn't you have back pain this week?
Yep.
How'd
Yeah.
you do
Well,
it?
that was okay. And then
It's never anything cool, right?
What was yours? It was like picking up a cup of coffee.
Picked up a
someone
cup
told me
of
this
coffee.
week, and their back went
Yeah.
out. Yeah, it is the strangest things.
Yeah, I had like
no,
this
for
half
me, it
wall.
was I did a lift wrong.
Oh,
I
all
got in to do my deadlift. I know the position in the form, and I was just like, I don't want to get this done. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, my back was like, okay, idiot, this is not how you do that. That's what it was for me. So.
See, and it's never like that's way better than what mine was. I have like this little half wall out in my backyard, and I had set down a cup of coffee, and I was walking past it, and I did the little like dip down to grab it as you're walking. Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital. Like literally 5 hours later, I'm in the hospital. It's never I had an engine up on the hoist and the hydraulics went out and I had to lift this V8 off of a child. And it's never anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's picking up a cup of coffee.
I have 2 small kids that think I'm a jungle gym, and so my back is never feeling too good.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Wait until you're our age.
Yeah.
I hate to give you the bad news.
I know everybody
Wait
keeps
till you're
saying that,
our
and I'm like, I don't think you understand how I feel right now. I do not feel like I'm in my prime.
Caleb and David are like, what are you guys talking about? Backs are
when
fun.
you need an adjustment, think of Ascend Chiropractic. They do a great job out there. So the segment being This Needs an Adjustment. I imagine you meet a lot of the people that are right in the middle of that. Something needs to be different here. It's not working. Do people call you? Do you just reach out to people and do cold calls and go talk to them? How does that? I'm just curious about how that works. I mean, they can find you on what? Nebraska
Farmers Network.
.net or
.com.
.com. But is that how you find people, or do you also just like?
Nope. So we're when we go and meet with people, we're invitation only. So we only go and meet with people that our members currently think are a good fit and people that they would like to go into business with. So share the same values, share the same moral and vision for our state. So that's who we go out and talk to. So every time that we meet with a new member, they love to give you names of people that they have friends and family right down the road that are in the same situation and are struggling with the same problems. And so, it was a fix for them. It might be a fix for their neighbor down the road or their brother or whoever it might be. So that's how we approach it. We do have people that, reach out to us. I had one last week that reached out to me that, he just was happening to talk to one of his buddies. We had went and talked to him. It wasn't a good fit for him, but he still felt like it was a good fit for John. And so John actually reached out to another one of his friends who was a member of ours, and then got my number and reached out to me, and I went and spoke with him, and it was great.
Yeah, local farmers are a tight network. I mean, we were talking about there when my daughter was in a car accident. The farmers, right away, my son-in-law to be new. Hey, there's two of my buddies that live close to you in the middle of nowhere on the highway. It's 27 degrees below wind chill. Your windows are broken. You need help. They got there long before the ambulance. It is a tight-knit group. So I could see that happen a lot.
And it's tight-knit throughout the entire state. You can be all the way in the Panhandle and, you go and talk to this guy and he's like, oh yeah, I know him in Lincoln. I know him in Omaha. I know. Yeah. Like
John Doe down in Nebraska City.
Yeah. I know him. I went to college with him, or, we were in the lead program together. You see it all the time.
One big thing about this though, is this is shooting up at me is it's Nebraska Farmers Network that needs an adjustment every single day.
We all do.
I can imagine.
Yes, we're talking about what we do, but our company there's never been done before. There's no blueprint for it. So, when we started this, I still got a lot of hats on, but a lot has been relieved by the team that we've been building. Just an awesome team. But yes, the marketing, the investing, the partnerships, the communications, everything was just on the founder of that, of a business, any business. So like Caleb was saying, I know my limits. However, I didn't have the capital or the people at that time to start, farming that stuff out. So everything was on my back, and we're here at this point. I don't have a problem with that, but if you're going to be starting a business, you are everything. And unless you do, a lot of them are just bootstrapped, but gosh, it was just every day. Okay, that's not working, pivot. That's not working, pivot. That's not working, pivot.
Yeah.
And right now, with the team that we're building, I got Kaleb here as our business development guy. I have a gal named Misty Stauffer. She's our director of operations.
Excellent. Godsend.
Yes. Gosh, who I forget.
Well, I mean, just the whole team that we're building out. Yeah.
You have
I
a
mean,
great team. Can't remember any of their names, but they and those and that one.
Yep,
I love it. That's great.
We got Tiffany in the office. We got Jada in the office. We got my whole development team as well. We got
Oh my gosh,
Kyle,
Jillian is
Amy,
our social
Jordan.
gal. I've been looking for a social media gal because again, just trying to do everything myself.
Sure.
And she's just a boss at it. She just takes it. She doesn't even come and ask me any questions, and she just does it. And I just love her.
Have you been sent to HR yet? My employees used to send me to HR when I have to go in the hallway and talk to myself for a while. All right, Gary, if you don't change a little bit.
That's probably gonna be the last one we have to come up with. But yeah,
just
and when you're a brand new, because you guys are, this is your third year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So 3 years. Talk about adjustment. It's constant adjustment because when you sit down and you kind of lay this plan out and you go, this is the path, and now you turn around 3 years later and look back, that path was nowhere near.
Well, yeah. And are you tilling new ground? I mean, is this, see what I did there? Is this like all throughout the country? There's other companies that are doing this as well. Or you guys are really like leading the way, right?
Correct. I mean,
okay. So I have another napkin here about a franchise.
You guys are like the caveman in the wheel.
You have your pen.
And and speaking back to what Gabe was saying, like, I mean, there was no blueprint, and we have a short timeline to make things happen. Again, we have a 10-year window that we're working within. That we just talked about this. Once the land goes, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
we don't
have a lot of time.
That's the thing right there. Yeah.
Well, I saw something I was reading. Is it Antelope County? Is that Wayne? Right.
Wayne is
north.
Yeah, close to.
So it's up in that area.
Yep.
51% of that county is foreign owned.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
51%. So good luck, right? Because that means 49% is family owned, and you guys probably aren't going to own a scrap because it's all gone. It's literally
well, they
all
say
gone.
98% of the farms are family owned. That's great, but what about they don't say the land that they're farming?
Correct.
Yeah.
So
might be a family in China that owns it.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that, but right.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, and you look too. You go, who's the CNN guy? Is he still the biggest?
Turner.
Ted Turner.
There's some talks about his health isn't doing so well. I mean, it might be his age, but yeah, he's kind of slowed down a little bit. So there's already talks about what's going on. What we're going to strategize with that.
But while he's slowing down, everybody else is picking up the pace.
Right.
So
and I saw, what was it? The Mormon Church was bought up like, I don't know how many,
largest
100,000 acres in Nebraska.
They own over 380,000 acres. They're the largest landowner in Nebraska.
Are they now?
Correct.
Wow. And again, I'm not.
Yeah, nothing against them.
Nothing against the Mormons, but their holding company is in Utah.
Yep. And it just goes back to what you were talking about with the outside investment. All those dollars go out of state now.
Exactly.
A lot of their equipment gets shipped in, so they're not shopping local. It just takes away from our communities, and that's we're trying to build around our communities, not against them.
And I never thought of that. So if they need a combine, right, they probably have a deal.
Correct.
And then it goes on the back of a semi truck, and it comes in from Utah or wherever their deal is. That's crazy. I all the things, all the little fingers that where it starts.
We learn new stuff every day.
Well, we're gonna have to go to a break here, and we'll see you on the other end. You are listening to the 402 Business Insider with Gary Tharnish and Travis Filing. I almost forgot my name. We'll see you on the other end.
99.3 KLIN.
And you're back for the last segment of the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Gabe Sanchez and Kaleb Stewart from Nebraska Farmers Network. So you guys are more than just buying ag land, right? Because I know that's kind of the focus. That's where it started. But did I see? I went on the website and looked. You guys, you buy? Do you buy, sell tractors and equipment?
Yeah, we have an auction company, NFN Auctions. So just launched that about 2 months ago. We run off a Auction Times platform, so we have nice global reach that Auction Time does. But it's it's focused for our members, and it's another way that they can put back into their own pockets. I mean, they're part owners of that company.
And I always wondered about that because I of course I have a huge flatbed tilt trailer, which everybody and their brother sees me go by and they go, oh, mental note, Travis has a 26-foot trailer. And somebody comes to me and goes, hey, I bought a combine, whatever the attachment is, and it's in Wisconsin. It's like, don't they have one or two of those around here, for sale somewhere, right? So
got a better deal though.
Maybe until they burn up $1,000 in gas, right? So is it all Nebraska based? Is it all Nebraska, or is it just a national?
So I mean, anybody can utilize the auction, but I mean, within Auction Times platform, I mean, they have a global reach. So I mean, within our first auction that we did, I think we had 8 or 9 pieces of equipment go up on that auction. And I think 8 out of the 9 sold to like different states. I think we only had one that was actually bought here within Nebraska. So,
wow. So going back to your part where, hey, we got to bring this wealth back to Nebraska. That was a huge, what happened. Yeah. Sure. Nate Smith, who actually runs our auction company. It was great to see him deliver a $16,000 commission check to one of our members.
Nice.
Oh,
because they can sign up as reps and then they're earning commission on anything that they're selling as well.
Nice.
So another way to put back into their operation.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about adding revenue streams to their businesses, aka their farms, their family farms. That's what we work on every single day is how can we increase their cash flow? How can we increase their margin? Because yes, living on 3% margin, your whole life is safe, it's okay, but yeah, what happens when corn's a $3 a bushel of corn?
Well, when you think of the word that you partner with these people, really what you're doing is you're walking alongside them.
100%.
Right? I mean, that's the key right there. It's not all going in your pocket. The benefit is for them, and that's the focus, which is great.
Correct.
Yeah. So next 10 years, okay, so we got 20 to 30% of the 40 something million acres of ground you had mentioned here, Travis. 20 to 30% of that is going to be changing hands over the next 10 years, not in 10 years, over. It's already happening. So what are the 3 big, we want to put Nebraska Farmers Network in the forefront of what's going to be happening. So we conservatively say about 6,000 farmers and ranchers are going to be retiring over these next 10 years. And that's a very conservative number. So that's a lot of machinery. It's a lot of equipment that's just going to be there.
A lot of land.
And a lot of land. Yep.
So we got auction company. We have a land company, a brokerage. And we have that 1031 exchange transaction service too, as a consulting, because there is a lot. The 20 to 30%, half of that is going to be done by 1031s.
Yeah, good.
And we also
thank God we have those available to us.
We also now have a title company as well, help keep things more in house. Good deal. As well. So
wow, you guys have just exploded in the last 3 years, just in the last year since we talked to you last.
Absolutely,
because the main focus last year was just acquiring land.
Yep.
And finding investors. So if people want to invest, do they just reach out to you?
Well, let's take a look at our website, NebraskaFarmersNetwork.com. It's all spelled out. And, just see if that's a good fit for you, first of all.
Sure.
We don't do any chasing. We don't cold call. We don't do any type of door knocking or anything like that.
We're not dentists. We're not trying to pull teeth by any means. We want you to be excited about it.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah. But as far as the auction company, that kind of piqued your interest. Yeah, it's nfnauctions.com. Our land company, nfnland.com. And our 1031 company is nfnfarmexchange.com. So you guys remember too, any of these services rendered from these 3 companies goes back to Nebraska communities. If you think about any other company that I kind of just mentioned, where does that go? Well, it goes back into the owner's pocket, goes back into upper management. Ours goes back to the farmers and ranchers. So you think about why people, shop at a Shields or they shop somewhere. It's because they do a lot of community outreach. Well, that's what Nebraska Farmers Network is.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole company, I mean, we have members spread throughout 70 counties right now, guys.
We're up to
Amazing.
508 members
Good.
currently. So, yep. And every single one of those are direct and owners and founders of our company.
Nice.
Wow, that's incredible.
That
How much land do you guys have under management right now?
Oh, there's on paper about 2,000. However, we got
There's a lot
there's
coming
about
down the line.
8 purchase deals, 8 purchase agreements that are under
Nice.
Very
review
cool.
right now. I wish we could talk about, but maybe next
No,
week.
that's okay. Well, I'm sitting here going through our list of all the questions that we didn't get to, and then you're like, oh, and we have the auctions, and oh, we have the 1031, and oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can we just can we lock the studio door and keep Dave and Robin out of here and just commandeer Grow Lincoln?
Yeah,
Do
no.
you think we can do that?
I'm the
we probably
captain
shouldn't
now.
do that. They're a good group of people.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you can just have us back on and we can talk about it more.
Absolutely, we do. We need to have you guys back and soon, just to keep this conversation going, because there's
100%.
so much that's interesting that's happening. And again, you know, the land is what really piqued my interest with
Mhm.
you guys. But yeah, when you're looking at auctions and auction sites,
So you
man,
guys got to remember too, all the revenue that's generated for those companies just provides us more capital to
Right.
purchase more ground.
And
You
help
know.
more people.
Yep.
Exactly.
that's incredible.
And it's a message that needs to get out there, and for these guys to know that there's another option out there, that there's somebody that's out there that is willing to help. They don't have to do it on their own. They don't have to just sit there and struggle and watch things kind of crumble to pieces slowly. There's people that are willing to help. You just got to know where to find them.
Yeah.
And
And what's sweet for you is your clientele is a tight knit community.
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you said so many times, if we're not a fit for this farmer, they're like, hey, but go talk to John and Joe down the street because this would be great for them,
Mhm.
or maybe good for them. That's awesome. They're talking about you in cafes. They're talking to you. But I remember my daughter moved to Red Cloud. She's like, Dad, they don't have a Starbucks or a Scooters. I go, they have a cafe that probably opens at dawn and we'll close around 2 or 3. And then the bar opens at 10 and we'll close around 2 a.m.
And it's cheaper
That's
and
it.
better.
Yeah.
And
So
with
get a
those-
coffee pot.
Yeah.
And with those small tight knit communities, that they all want to help each other too.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not just, you know, they're doing the same business. They're technically competing with each other, but they're not really. They want to help each other succeed. You know, they don't want their neighbor to lose their farm. You know, they want to.
Well,
they
they're
want to
all,
see
like
them.
you said earlier, they're all on edge.
When I love that you guys have a solution for handing it off to the next generation.
Right.
Because that's what scares me to death as somebody who owns, and again, I don't own farm ground, but still, when the fat kid kicks off over here, right, I've got to figure out, well, my son has to figure out how to handle these assets.
Yeah. And we have
that's
to get more young blood back into the ag industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this was the 402 Business Insider. We're talking with Gabe Sanchez, Kaleb Stewart from Nebraska Farmers Network, Nebraska FarmersNetwork.com,
Yep.
and the other websites as well. And the last segment, we'll see if I can get it in before we hit the post, right, was brought to us by the UPS stores and Western National Bank. I'll give you guys more love next week. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on Sunday.
Thanks.
Saturday.